There is no force more powerful in shaping a winning attitude than a definiteness of purpose. A man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder, adrift, aimless, and at the mercy of every gust of circumstance. But the individual who knows exactly what he wants and why he wants it has already won half the battle. His mind becomes magnetized with direction, and that direction begins to influence every thought, every decision, every habit. Let me tell you this truth. Until you fix in your mind a single burning desire, so definite that it becomes an obsession, you will remain at the mercy of doubt. A winning attitude is not born from wishful thinking. It is not created by vague hopes or scattered dreams. It is forged in the fire of absolute clarity. The man who knows what he wants does not wake up uncertain. He rises with intention. He moves with focus. He speaks with conviction. And when obstacles rise against him, as they always will, he does not flinch. He knows where he's going. Most people spend their lives reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They allow their attitude to be shaped by outside events. If the day is good, they smile. If it is bad, they crumble. But the man of purpose is different. His internal world commands the external. He walks into storms with his head high because he is not moved by weather. He is moved by mission. His attitude is not a result of chance. It is a decision anchored to purpose. The greatest tragedies in human potential are not born from failure. They are born from indecision. Indecision is the breeding ground of fear. And fear is the assassin of attitude. But purpose slays fear. Purpose clears the fog. Purpose silences the voice that says, maybe I can't. It replaces it with, I will and I must. You must decide right now what it is you truly want. Not what others want for you, not what sounds nice in theory, but what ignites your soul. You must define it so clearly that you can describe it in a single sentence. If you cannot say it in one breath, you do not yet know it. And if you do not know it, you cannot pursue it. And if you do not pursue it, you cannot win. Let your purpose become your North Star. Let it speak louder than your excuses. Let it push you when you're tired and lift you when you're weak. Once your mind is seized by a definite goal, something remarkable begins to happen. You start attracting the ideas, the people, the opportunities that align with that purpose. You stop chasing distractions and start building momentum. Your attitude becomes resilient, focused, and ferocious. A man with a purpose does not whine. He works. He does not panic. He prepares. He does not compare himself to others. He competes only with the man he was yesterday. And as his attitude sharpens, so does his power. Purpose breeds discipline. Discipline breeds progress. Progress breeds confidence. And confidence breeds victory. So if you want to cultivate a winning attitude, you must begin here. Not with external motivation, not with temporary hype, but with a decision, a deep personal decision to lock your life onto one meaningful objective and chase it with everything you have. Your purpose is the soil. Your attitude is the flower. Water the roots and the petals will bloom. Do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait for more resources, better circumstances, or someone else's permission. Decide, declare, and begin. The moment you do, you will feel a shift. The mind becomes quiet. The path becomes clearer. The attitude transforms. And the man you were gives way to the man you were meant to be. The mind is a fertile field. Whatever you plant in it, whether weeds or wheat, will surely grow. And the tool by which we sow those seeds is called autosuggestion. It is the act of deliberately feeding the subconscious mind with the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions we choose to dominate our lives. You are always suggesting something to yourself, whether by design or by default. The tragedy is that most people do it unconsciously. and they wonder why their lives are filled with confusion, fear, or failure. But the few, those who rise above mediocrity, understand that the subconscious mind can be commanded. It can be directed. It can be trained like a muscle. And the method by which they achieve this is through persistent, emotional repetition of powerful affirmations, clear desires, and unshakable belief. You must understand this. Your subconscious does not distinguish between truth and falsehood. It accepts whatever is repeated with emotion as fact. It does not question, it obeys. So if you constantly tell yourself you are unlucky, unworthy, or inadequate, your subconscious will believe it. It will act upon it. It will arrange your habits, your actions, even your opportunities to match that inner belief. But if you reverse this, if you speak to yourself daily with the language of victory, strength, and certainty, your subconscious will shift. And with that shift, your entire life begins to change. Words are not just sounds. They are instruments of power. When spoken with belief, they create mental pictures, and those pictures become instructions to the subconscious mind. The man who says to himself every morning, "I am focused, I am unstoppable, I will succeed," is programming his mind to produce the very conditions that match those declarations. Slowly, the mind accepts it and once the mind accepts it, the body follows. The attitude transforms, and the world begins to respond in kind. But this is not a one-time act. It is not a casual whisper in the dark. It is a daily ritual, spoken with energy, felt with passion, and affirmed with action. Autosuggestion is not magic. It is mental conditioning. Just as a sculptor chips away at stone to form a masterpiece, so must you chip away at doubt, fear, and limitation until only the image of your highest self remains. You must speak to yourselves more than the world speaks to you. The world will try to tell you who you are based on your past, your appearance, your failures. But none of that matters unless you accept it. You have the power to overwrite the old script. You can write a new one of power, one of purpose, one of relentless pursuit. And you write it through repetition, through emotion, through conviction. Say it when you rise. Say it before you sleep. Say it when you are tired, when you are afraid, when no one else believes in you. Your own voice must become your greatest source of power. And the day will come, if you persist long enough, when you will begin to believe what you once only hoped. And belief, once established in the subconscious, will do what no mere effort alone can accomplish. It will drive you forward without resistance. It will draw to you the people, the ideas, the resources that align with your inner command. This is the secret to a winning attitude. It is not luck. It is not background. It is the result of thousands of silent declarations echoing in the mind until the mind can no longer believe anything else. Speak life into your vision. Speak confidence into your steps. Speak victory into your spirit. And do it with such consistency that even in the face of difficulty, your inner voice rises and says, "I was built for this." You are already the architect of your thoughts. It's time to become the master of them. A man cannot claim victory in the outer world until he has conquered the storms within. Emotions, when uncontrolled, are the destroyers of discipline, clarity, and power. But when mastered, they become fuel for greatness. A winning attitude is not a fragile thing. It is not shaped by moods or shaken by temporary circumstances. It is solid, forged by the ability to govern one's own emotional state, no matter the chaos outside. Understand this truth. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Unexpected storms will rise. And in those moments, it will not be your knowledge, your skill, or even your talent that will determine whether you prevail. It will be your ability to remain composed, focused, and resilient under pressure. Mental toughness is born in adversity, but it is trained through emotional mastery. The weak man reacts. He explodes in anger, collapses in fear, or retreats in self-pity. He allows external events to dictate his inner world, but the strong man responds. He pauses, he thinks, he chooses. He does not allow a moment of emotion to destroy years of progress. He does not allow a single insult to rob him of his focus. He does not give his power to things he cannot control. Instead, he governs himself, and in doing so, commands respect from others and from life itself. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are signals, not dictators. Anger, fear, frustration. These are natural responses. But you must never let them become your master. You must train your mind to observe them without being controlled by them. Like a skilled warrior, you must know when to strike and when to stand still. The undisciplined man is a slave to every feeling. The disciplined man uses his emotions as tools for achievement. Mental toughness is not coldness, it is clarity. It is knowing who you are and refusing to compromise your standards in the face of temporary discomfort. When others panic, the mentally tough stay calm. When others complain, the mentally tough seek solutions. When others crumble under criticism, the mentally tough grows sharper, stronger, more relentless. But this control is not granted. It is earned. It is built day by day in silence, in solitude, in discipline. It begins by noticing your patterns. What triggers you? What weakens your focus? What thoughts create hesitation? Once you see them, you can change them. You can replace the impulse to react with the power to respond, and that is where strength lives. You cannot always choose what happens to you, but you can always choose what happens within you. That is the battlefield. That is where champions are born. Every time you choose patience over panic, strength over stress, clarity over confusion, you build a stronger self. And in doing so, you build a winning attitude that does not bend with the wind. The world respects the man who holds his ground, not with arrogance, but with self-mastery. The man who smiles under pressure. The man who speaks with measured words even when others scream. The man who walks through fire and emerges not bitter, but better. This man is rare, and because he is rare, he rises. Decide today that you will no longer be ruled by fleeting emotions. They will come, and you will feel them, but you will not serve them. You will observe, learn, and choose, and in that choice lies your freedom. The battlefield of greatness is won within. Rule yourself, and nothing outside of you can defeat you. That is the core of mental toughness. That is the essence of a winning attitude. No man climbs the mountain of success alone. Every mind is shaped, sharpened, or shattered by its surroundings. You may possess talent, drive, and vision, but if you remain rooted in the wrong environment, surrounded by the wrong voices, your attitude will rot from within. Just as healthy fruit spoils in a diseased orchard, so too does a winning attitude decay when exposed to negative influences. You must be ruthless in selecting the soil in which your mind will grow. Take a look at your daily surroundings. The conversations you engage in, the people you listen to, the energy that fills the air around you. All of it is programming your mind. The man who walks among cynics cannot help but doubt. The man who sits among complainers begins to curse his own progress, but the man who surrounds himself with visionaries, with doers, with those who speak of goals, discipline, and growth, he becomes unstoppable. If you are serious about cultivating a winning attitude, you must audit your environment with the same precision a general inspects his army before battle. Who are you letting into your inner circle? Are they building your courage or feeding your fear? Are they challenging your potential or clinging to mediocrity? Understand this truth. Association is not a casual thing. It is a contract, written not on paper, but in the mind. And most people are failing because they've signed a silent agreement to remain average by staying in average company. But you are not like most people. You were born to rise, not to conform. And if that is true, then you must be willing to change your surroundings when they no longer serve your growth. Do not apologize for it. Do not wait for permission. If you must walk alone for a season to protect your attitude, then walk alone and walk boldly. The climb is always lonelier at the top, but it is where the view is clearest. Your environment is not just people. It is also the information you consume, the books you read, the media you digest, the thoughts you entertain. What you allow in eventually comes out. Garbage in, garbage out. But greatness in, greatness out. A man who feeds his mind daily with ideas of perseverance, wealth, purpose, and power cannot remain the same. His attitude transforms, his confidence grows, and his actions begin to align with his vision. Change your environment and you change your destiny. But it takes courage. It takes the ability to say no to comfort and yes to challenge. To walk away from the crowd and walk toward your calling. Not everyone will understand it. Some will mock your ambition. Others will question your sanity. But let them talk while you walk. Let them doubt while you build. One day they will look up and see you standing on a mountaintop they never dared to climb. The world you create around you will determine the world you create within you. Choose your environment like a king chooses his court, wisely, selectively, and without hesitation. Remove what drains you, add what drives you. Place yourself in rooms where excellence is the standard and vision is the language. Over time, your attitude will rise to meet the level of the energy that surrounds you. If your goal is a winning mindset, then let your surroundings reflect that goal. There is no success without sacrifice. And sometimes the first sacrifice is comfort. But what you gain in return is priceless. A mind that cannot be shaken, a spirit that cannot be broken, and an attitude that turns obstacles into opportunities. Protect your mind as you would protect a kingdom. The walls you build around it, of strong influence, of bold ideas, of high standards, will not confine you. They will free you. Because once your environment supports your greatness will begin to emerge without resistance. Belief is the seed, but without action, that seed dies in the soil of good intentions. Faith, if it is to move mountains, must first move you. The man who claims to believe but does not act is a liar, not to others, but to himself. His words may sound bold, but his results whisper defeat. If you truly believe in your vision, your dream, your destiny, then your actions must reflect that belief without hesitation, without apology, and without delay. The universe does not respond to noise. It responds to movement. You can speak affirmations all day long, write down your goals, visualize your success, but if you do not take steps toward it, the dream remains a fantasy. Faith without action is a broken sword. It cannot defend you in battle. It cannot win wars. It is the man who puts his belief into motion, who rises early, works late, and persists through failure, who turns invisible thoughts into visible triumphs. Action is the testing ground of faith. Talk is easy. Convincing yourself that you're committed is easy. But life does not reward the comfortable. Life rewards the doer. The man who stands up when he feels like lying down. The man who invests time before he sees the return. The man who moves forward without guarantees, trusting that his consistent action will force the outcome to bend to his will. There is a moment when every man must decide, will I wait for perfect conditions, or will I move with what I have, where I am, right now? The winning attitude never waits. It acts. It understands that momentum is greater than motivation, that courage grows in the doing, not in the thinking, that belief without labor is just dressed up fear. Real faith is not passive. It is bold. It steps into the unknown with fire in its eyes and sweat on its brow. It does not demand certainty, it creates it. Faith-backed action is a signal to the world, I am serious, And when the world sees a man who is serious, it makes way for him. Doors begin to open. Resources begin to appear. Not because the man was lucky, but because he proved through action that he was ready. But let this be clear. The path is never smooth. You will fall. You will doubt. You will face delays and detours. But none of that matters if you continue. The man of action does not fear failure because he knows failure is only feedback. It is part of the process. The only true failure is stagnation. The only true loss is the decision to stop moving. Every great achievement the world has ever witnessed began as a belief, held tightly in the heart of a man or woman who refused to let go. But belief alone was not enough. They acted. They moved when others waited. They endured when others quit. They built when there was nothing but dust and hope. Their faith lived in their hands, not just their minds. You must live the same way. You must wake each day and ask yourself, if I truly believed in this dream, how would I act today? And then do exactly that. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because faith only becomes power when it steps into the arena and bleeds for what it claims to want. Let the doubters talk, let the lazy sleep, let the fearful shrink. You are different. You are a builder of belief and a man of relentless action. When your belief becomes motion, your life becomes unstoppable. The attitude of a winner is not found in words. It is found in footsteps. You say you believe, prove it. Move, grind, execute, and keep doing it until the dream that once lived only in your mind now stands tall in your reality. Built by hands that refuse to quit and a spirit that refused to doubt.